On this glorious Thursday afternoon, TO Sports Talk, episode 15. I'm your host, James Price, along with Evan Brown. How's it going, bud?
We've done 15 of these episodes. Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
I'm good. I'm doing fantastic right now. But those Blue Jays, how they doing?
Well, we'll talk about, I guess, the draft that just happened a few days ago. It just concluded yesterday, I think it was. 40 rounds. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. The Jays' struggles continue, and are you on board for Tank Nation? We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, and also for the Raptors, they have narrowed their coaching search down to 4 coaches. We'll be talking about that, and also the NBA Finals, and the Golden State Warriors could end up sweeping the Kings, so we'll definitely be talking to you about that.
And for the Leafs, not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to the Buds. We'll maybe talk a little bit of free agency. We'll talk a little bit about the Islanders and Lou Lamoriello being the new general manager, then cleaning house, really. And we'll talk about the Capitals. 1 win away from a Stanley Cup. Crazy to say, but we'll get to that later on. So we're going to start right off with the Blue Jays.
Roll with this puppy.
The draft just concluded, and there's a lot of... 40 rounds. 40! So where is this 40th guy here? Drew LeBounty. Yeah, good job. I mean, round 40...
Well, I don't think we're gonna go through all.
No, of course not. We're not going to go through all of them. We're going to go through the first few rounds, kind of break it down, because I'm going to be making a video about this maybe tonight. I don't know. I'm not too sure yet. But we're going to start off with the Jays' first pick, Jordan Groshans from Magnolia High School.
I thought this was the Michigan.
And he was the ranked 31st prospect in the draft. He went 12th. A lot of Jays fans freak out. He's a shortstop. A lot of Jays fans freak out about that too.
Now, is it rare for, well, not really rare, but is it smart to draft straight out of high school for a shortstop?
It's
wait, I see catcher or shortstop.
Shortstop.
Oh, okay.
It's tough to say when it comes to a shortstop and an infielder, because like I've said in the previous videos, and I said it on Twitter about Brett Laurie. If I'm not mistaken, he was a catcher when he was drafted.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of Jays fans know him as a third baseman, and at some points a second baseman. That's what we remember him as. Right. He was drafted as a catcher. Jordan Groshans, at 18 years of age, is drafted as a shortstop. Does that mean he's going to be a shortstop if he makes it to the big leagues? I don't know. Yeah, he's a big guy. I think he's like 6'4", I think it is. Oh, he's 6'3" at 18 years old. I mean, he could even be getting bigger than that.
Now, you also mentioned about how high school prospects usually throw out their arm.
Well, that's with pitchers. With pitchers, and
basemen too.
You run the risk. Yeah, it doesn't always happen, but you run that risk, and are you willing to take that chance?
They're more raw talent than college players, I would imagine. They have more upside, but they also have that, thing about getting injured possibly if they're be sent up too fast. Quickly, right?
Right, so, and that's what you've seen in the past. You look at, there's been so many other players that have had high ceilings but lose, go Tommy John surgery, and we're all like, well, that's it for him. But Jordan Groshans, I mean, he's got a lot of power. He
was supposed to go in the second round, you say, right? So
yeah.
So you think it was a bit of a reach? Were you looking at players that were supposed to go around the first round that you were like, hey, I want this guy? And
there was one guy, I think it was Brady Singer, I think his name was. He was a pitcher, right-handed pitcher, and I thought the Jays should have gone after him.
We drafted so many pitchers even last year, right?
Yeah, there was quite a few pitchers drafted last year, but you can never have too many.
True.
You can never have too many pitchers.
Especially how our pitching is going on right now.
It's all over the place right now. But, I mean, Jordan Groshans, I think it's a good pick. I mean, you can never have too much depth in the infield, and who knows, at 6'3", 6'4", he could end up being an outfielder.
So
I don't know.
This is not last year, but the year before that, because I'm just seeing 31st overall, first round. So
that's where he was projected to go.
Oh, okay.
So, and then the next draft pick, the second rounder, Griffin Conine, son of, obviously, a former MLB player. He was supposed to go 50th. He went 52nd to us.
Who's a former MLB player.
And he plays at Duke, so Marcus Stroman's very happy about that. Obviously, he just graduated from Duke a couple of years ago when he had that big injury, and he's a right fielder. Jays fans preaching about needing some outfielders. Oh. There's one of your guys, there you go. Griffin Conine. Now, the crazy thing about drafting is that Groshans and Conine could end up being nothing, but you go down here to an Andy McGuire, a 28th round pick first baseman, he could be a stud. It's the way baseball is.
Right. So is this the same with hockey, how you have to sign these guys to entry-level deals?
So with this, they could re-enter the draft. That happened to the Jays a couple years ago. I forgot who it was. when it comes to the league. Well, when it comes to the Blue Jays, they lost a guy and he had to go right back into the draft that next year.
So if they don't sign him, it's probably in maybe 2-3 years or so.
I'm not sure exactly how it works. I really
So do you think that we're going to sign at least
I
a
think
first rounder?
if Groshans and any of the high school players commit to a college or university, that's it.
Because it is kind of unlikely for them to jump from high school right to the bigs or even AAA, AA.
Right. But you see, well, you look at a guy like he's 18 years old, so you could see him, if he decides to sign with the Blue Jays instead of going to college, you could see him starting in Bluefield, which is below Dunedin, below Lansing, because that's where Vladdy and Bo started out.
But why wouldn't they go to an actual college? Or would that be more competitive, you think, than below AA?
But because that's the case, you're going into the you re-enter the draft. What if they have a bad year? They'll drop a mile, right? You know what I mean?
So you'd rather sign them right away, and for them, I mean, not to stunt their development.
As a Jays fan, I would love them to sign. But I understand they want that college.
How often do first rounders not sign with a team?
It does happen once in a while.
But it's kind of unlikely.
But a guy like Jordan Groshans and Griffin Conine and Adam Kloffenstein, the third-round pick, I think those are guys that this team is going to sign.
Right-handed pitcher.
Yeah. So a lot of Jays fans in the first two rounds are like, why isn't this team going after pitchers? Well, third and fourth rounds, Adam Kloffenstein and Sean Weimer from TCU, and of course Adam Kloffenstein from Magnolia High School. Just where Jordan Groshans were from. So two teammates. They
know each other, right?
Right, of course. And he's a right-handed pitcher. I think he's a big guy. He's 6'5" at 18 years of age. Big guy. And Sean Weimer, obviously, he's only 6'1", but he goes to TCU, so he's a little bit older than the high school.
So did you see anybody that were like, no, that is a steal? Or not, not specifically, because I know
it's hard to say right now.
It's hard to say with baseball, especially when there's 40 rounds and you're not, there's no projected, where this guy's going to go past the third or fourth round.
Yeah,
it could be anywheres.
Well, I mean, you look at what Jordan Groshans, he's supposed to go in the second round. The Jays pick him up at 12th. I mean, it's all over the place, really. Brady Singer was supposed to.
Time will tell, like you said.
Right, and I mean, it's great to have, because what this organization is trying to do is trying to stock up the prospects.
Well, that's what you're
not just okay. We already have a lot of infielders. Let's just draft an outfielder. Oh, well, if he's supposed to go in the third round. No.
They're drafting best available player, and I think that's what teams are supposed to do.
Now, people are saying, well, Groshans was not the best player available. You go after a great pitcher, blah, blah, blah. Look, they felt that Groshans was the best player available, so they took him.
It doesn't
the Jays
matter
have a lot of depth
if
infielders.
Bo is still going to be that guy.
Right, because is Devin Travis going to be on this team for good? I don't know.
I got brought up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it did. And I don't know if that's going to happen. Will Bichette end up being a second baseman? Will Logan Warmoth, the Jays' first-round pick last year, will he be anything? I don't know. Will Groshans be anything good? I don't know.
Have too many good prospects at one position, then not enough.
Right, because you look at the Houston Astros and their trade. I mean, a lot of people rip apart Shapiro and Atkins, and there's small moves that I look at what they've done, and I'm like, those are fantastic. Because you go back to a couple years ago when they acquired Francisco Liriano, they got Harold Ramirez, who's actually hitting 300 in AA. He's been awful the last few years, but he's been doing very well there.
Right.
And they got Reese McGuire, a catcher in AAA Buffalo, still a young prospect, still a good-looking prospect. Oh. And you got Liriano for Drew Hutchison, a guy who's in the bullpen right now for the Phillies.
So basically, you look at that, and it's like small moves that people don't really realize, but then in the end, it's like, how the heck did we get this guy?
So you got those two prospects and Liriano for that. So you still have those two prospects. You trade Liriano for Teoscar Hernandez.
Now, as a whole, are you happy with Shapiro and Atkins, what they have done besides with these moves, but just in a whole? Because
people don't like these guys because they don't want to spend a lot of money, and I understand that to a certain extent.
Well, the Jays' payroll, I don't think it's
right, but
it's
everyone's talking about this team should have gone out in free agency and done a lot of things. Well, what would they have done? Sign J.D. Martinez? Okay, that's a right fielder. What happens to your infield the way it's been injured, all craziness? Your left field spot's been injured. The inconsistency of the bats. One guy's not going to do it. This team right now is in shambles.
And this team right now does not need to build through free agency. We need to build through the draft.
Right, and that's why we're really breaking this thing down here, because this is the future of this team.
Because Jays fans want a rebuild. I think any Jays fan wants a rebuild, and we don't want to be stuck in no man's land.
And that's what we're doing right now. About the Blue Jays is, as much as we're like, okay, let's tank, let's start the rebuild, it's kind of already started. Yeah. You have Vladdy and Bo, two very, very good-looking. Bo was in a real bad stretch of hitting 240-something at one point.
But he's a young guy. He's going to have those growing spurts.
He's now hitting 278. He's really come up now.
And then you said Vladdy G was injured, wasn't he?
He actually left the game a couple games ago with an injury.
And he came back.
And comes back a couple games later, re-aggravates it. That was yesterday. So I don't know what his status is. I don't know what the deal is.
That's always kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It really is for a player like that. And I mean, as long as and we also heard a couple days ago actually that if everything goes well and Vladdy continues to play a good game, by the end of the month, he could be in AAA Buffalo.
Ooh. But didn't you say that that's the hardest transition?
The hardest transition, I think, is A to AA.
Well, no, because you wanted to say that you wanted to keep Vladdy G.
Well, I think we've talked about it before about AAA. They try and avoid their big players going there.
So why would they send him up there?
Because they just think he's a special talent. They don't think that'll phase him. And I don't blame them because Vladdy's something special, man.
I know that, but I would like to see him make the transition from AA right up to the majors next year, and then so he can tear it up in AA this year.
I think he'll go up to AAA, and I don't think he's coming to the big leagues.
No, I said next year.
I know, but you're saying stay in AA.
Yeah.
If he can go up to AAA and rip it up there, leave him. Let him do his thing there.
Yeah.
And then next year when Josh Donaldson gets the boot, or at the deadline, because we'll talk about that in a second here. I want to briefly get on the trade deadline and who should stay, who should go.
When is it? No, isn't that in July?
It's like July or something like that. It's a little ways away, I know. But I want to briefly touch on that. But as for the Jays draft, look, they got a lot of different...
You can't look too much into it.
They had a lot of different positions. They got a shortstop, a right fielder, 2 pitchers, catcher, shortstop, third base, right field... Or excuse me, another pitcher, first base, 2 center fielders, another pitcher, and then it goes down the list.
And like you said before, they're not drafting by specific need. No. They're more drafting best available player, and that's what teams should do. Yes, like you say, shortstop, you have Bo. We understand that, but
will he be there in the big leagues? I don't know. He could be a second baseman, and Vladdy G might not even be a third baseman if his infielding doesn't get better. He might be a shortstop. I don't know. I don't know what will happen with him.
You never know.
And Grosjean's a shortstop. He might not even be a shortstop in a few years. Right. I don't know.
Right.
But
can't look too much into it.
All right. So a question I said right off the top: Are you on board for Tank Nation?
I think at this point, last year I was. What this team needs to do is, like you said, stockpile up on draft picks. Trade anybody and anything for something. Justin Smoke. What can you get for a Justin Smoke?
Well, you could probably get something decent.
For JD. You know what I mean?
Solarte is probably having one of his best years of his career. That's when you move him. He's still got another year after this. He's got value. Use it. I know people love Solarte. I know. But think about it. He's got 1 year after this. Yeah. Was the team going to be good next year? No, probably not.
Probably worse than this year.
Well, depending on what happens. I don't know what's going to happen after this year, but
just how it looks at it, because right now, I think we were worse than this time last year.
Probably. We're 9 games under 500.
It's...
They have the worst record. I said this in the video yesterday. Since May 1st. Remember when we talked about great April? They were like 4 games over 500.
I know, May was a complete disaster.
The Blue Jays, since May 1st,
I'm listening.
have the worst record in baseball.
Now that's shocking because the Baltimore Orioles are
they are 19 and 40.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And we have the worst record in baseball since the month of May.
Wow. And June isn't really anything special to begin with.
No, the Jays are 1 and 4.
We've lost the series against Detroit. We lost the series against the Yankees, the New York Yankees. Yes,
we're 1 and 4.
Do you really want to go through the year just sliding by like this? Not even sliding by. We're doing bad. So if we end up trading these players, we're going to be even worse, and we're going to get prospects back for these players.
Exactly.
I don't understand why we're even considering this. I think this is just common sense for the Jays to do this.
And the Jays continue to fall. I mean, remember they were in a wild card spot, and we're like, oh, they're doing all right. The Jays are now 11 games out of a wild card.
Well, you said wild card spot. And I do remember you saying that. Yeah. And I said I would be surprised.
Being surprised and 11 games below the freaking wild card spot.
You have to look at this team, right? Going into this, the season of there was injuries. You've
seen the whole of Troy Tulowitzki.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's just useless. He's broken." Blah blah blah.
We need him. We don't have an actual shortstop right now.
Edmus Diaz is at best. Right. But for this Jays team, I mean, they're on a downslide. They've lost their last 2 games. And if you're looking at Tank Nation, you're like, all right, who's behind us doing well? Well, the Texas Rangers and the White Sox have won 2 straight games.
Aren't the White Sox supposed to be actually pretty good this year?
They were supposed to be better, and they are a little bit better. But
I'm sorry. I don't think that the Baltimore, Kansas City, we're going to be even around them, to be honest.
Well, heck, I don't know. The way this team's been playing as of late, I don't know what to expect from this Blue Jays team. I mean, I expected them to do
The window closed after Edwin and Bautista left.
Yeah, I think so.
Last year, I was expecting last year for us to rebuild. We didn't. We kept the same players. We didn't trade anybody. It's like, okay,
but if you think about it though, if Edwin and Jose stayed, what is that really? That's two guys. That doesn't turn this team around.
But it's the two guys.
But it doesn't turn this team around completely.
It would help us with the hitting.
They're getting older now. Bautista's useless now. He's useless now.
Well, yeah, now, but I'm saying more last year than this year.
Bautista was useless
Edwin
last
is still
year.
what? He has what?
Yeah, that's one guy though. You can't go from a sub 500 team by like 5 or 6 games.
So
to
my
a
question to
team.
you is that besides these two guys that left, what is different from now and from now
2015,
until
2016?
Exactly 2 years ago?
Well, Troy Tulowitzki was healthy and wasn't complete trash.
Okay, so Troy Tulowitzki.
They had David Price.
No,
They had Roberto Osuna.
I'm talking about when so that was 3 years ago with David Price. 2 years ago when we faced the Orioles in the wild cards.
Oh, okay.
2 years ago.
The difference between that, you had Roberto Osuna at the back end of the bullpen.
Okay, so
you don't have that now.
Osuna, you had
Lariano in your fifth man in rotation, who came over the deadline and he was very good.
I'm talking about major pieces. Well, Osuna, yes. Nothing really else.
Well, yes, Edwin and Jose, but everybody else is getting older. Donaldson's getting older and he's hurt.
It was Edwin and Jose.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Donaldson back in those years was playing 150 games. He was healthy all the time. Now he can't stay healthy.
Healthy and injuries. Getting older. No players really.
Edwin and Jose doesn't really have anything to do with that.
It's like you just said. It's those two guys and it's injuries towards their players now.
2016, the Jays got carried by their starting pitching. Yeah. They had the best rotation in the league.
It's the exact same rotation as now,
but they're getting older.
Older as in what?
Marco Estrada was almost a sub-3 ERA. He was one of the best guys in the.
He's what, 32? It's not that old.
Marco Estrada's like 35.
Is he? Oh.
He's not very young. He's 34 years of age.
34. Okay.
And then you go Jay Happ. He was a 20-game winner back then.
Right.
You know, and Jay Happ. I mean, as much
Jay Happ was with us when we faced Baltimore in the wild card game,
and he's 35 years of age.
It's 2 years.
32 years old and 33 years old. That's not bad.
I still think that it's mainly with those two guys, and like you say, the injuries don't help. But it's pretty much the same core. Besides those two guys, which is kind of odd that we just dropped like this.
But then you had a back of the bullpen that you could rely on.
Yeah.
You had
Cecil.
You had Brett Cecil. I think that piece was one that really got.
How's he doing on? Is he on
I
St.
actually
Louis?
don't have no idea what he's doing in St. Louis, but all I know is that you had the back end of a bullpen of Cecil. You had Jason Grilli, who was great for the team when he was here, and Osuna at the back end. Now with Osuna gone, it's a whirlwind. You don't know who you're going to see. Right. Are you going to see Sangwano? Well, he was great until his last 2 outings where he's been atrocious.
Yeah.
Tyler Clippard and Axford, they had their moments of just abysmal pitching. DePera, he's been pretty good for the most part of the year. But that's one guy. That's one guy. Yeah. And I don't...
Right now, I mean, I wouldn't say we're in the same stratosphere as the Raptors, but I would just blow it up. Well, not blow it up, but just keep rebuilding, because I still feel like we are rebuilding, but not to the certain extent as us Jays fans want us to, as you know?
So Brett Cecil over there is really pitching bad. He's really not pitching well over there. Okay. But whether he's pitching well over there
or not,
he's the Brett Cecil. The Brett Cecil we remember was great. Right. This team is not that. No. They don't have that. They have an Aaron Lupin and Tim Mesa, who they still don't give a shot to Tim Mesa, which I'm shocked about.
How about Joe Biagini, or do you want to get it?
Oh my God! Look, they broke him once they put him in the rotation. We kept preaching over and over. This guy should not be in the rotation.
Is that mainly John Gibbons?
It is and it isn't, because in a 13 inning game, you've used a lot of pitchers already. You need to fire out somebody. And Joe Biagini was a guy there, and he gives up 2 home runs, and you lose the game. I mean,
he's ice cold. So why are you still?
That's what relievers are. They're ice cold. They come into a game.
No, but I'm talking about like previous games before. He hasn't been played well, and he continues to be sent out there.
Because you have to throw somebody. I mean, he's so because then he gets Detroit on June 1st. He went 3 innings of no runs, and he was doing great. And then in his last 2 outings, he's been awful.
I don't know why John Gibbons likes him so much.
In a 13-inning game, you had to throw him out there because you had nothing else.
Yeah, and look what happened.
Yep. This team is just a mess.
Right.
When they're not, like, you look at the game against the Detroit Tigers where they won 8-4. They had 11 hits and 8 runs. They were cruising. 11 hits. The Jays combined in the 2 games against the Yankees had a total of 7.
That's
a total of 7, and that was a 13-inning game.
I mean, the Yankees pitching is not bad. Like, don't get me wrong.
7 hits in 2 games.
Sabathia was starting.
13, 22 innings, 7 hits.
That's awful.
And a total of 2 runs, 2 solo home runs. That's it. The team's offense.
What do you really say? Because you could just laugh.
This is going to be an interesting one. The Jays are playing awful, but they're playing Baltimore right now for a 4-game series.
So at this point, James, I'm going to ask you this. At this point, would you rather see them win against Baltimore?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, of course I want to see my team win because, hey.
And I think you mentioned this in a video of yours. Every day it's something new with the Jays.
It is. I mean, look, we can see the offense, come. Garcia, 2 starts ago, went 7 innings. He was dynamite. Gave up like 3 hits. He was unbelievable. Next start, he couldn't get out of the 2nd inning. Now he's pitching today. Heck, he could have a no-hitter for all I know.
But like you say, it's just more injuries, or it's like the starting pitching can't do anything.
But then when the starting pitching does something,
the relievers can't.
The relievers suck, and the bats can't do anything. If it's a revolving door for this team.
So if we lose to Baltimore, like you say, would you be happy? No, but like really, because that's one step closer to getting at the bottom of the AL.
I won't go on a video and say, "Great job, guys, we lost another game." I won't do that because I want to see a team win. It's much easier to do a video on a win than a garbage loss.
I understand that, but if the garbage loss is to get you the first overall pick, and yes, we do know about baseball first overall picks, MLB, it's nothing. Like you said, Justin Smoke was a first overall pick. Matt Bush was a first overall pick. It's not certain that you're going to get a star. It's likely, though. So, would you be bringing out Tank Nation in one of your videos? No. Maybe.
No, I don't. Not as of yet. It's still the beginning of June, but I mean,
we're almost halfway done the season.
Not even close.
I thought you said halfway was July, which is trade deadline.
It's beginning of June.
Oh. Sorry.
There's 162 games.
A month.
We still have over 100 games to go.
So that being said, it's going to be
101 games to go through this mess.
And last season, you were talking to me off air and saying that it was extremely hard to make Jays videos. When you had these I think it was one game against the Cubs where we were. It was in
up by a couple runs
innings.
in the 9th, or we were up by a couple runs, and Osuna blew it because Rafi Lopez.
I remember him.
Couldn't catch a ball, fastball off his glove, missed like 3 of them, and the Jays lose the game.
And I think this year it might be worse for you and for all Jays fans.
Well, it's already pretty bad. So,
but it's laughable at this point.
The Jays haven't won 2 games in a row, and probably since April.
And like I'm saying, with the starting pitching being like it is, would you throw out Morales as a reliever?
No, you quit that. I know you were getting at that in the last podcast. We're not that stupid.
Okay, but what happens if he throws like an ace? Like if he just...
I turn the TV off.
Well,
it's Morales, for God's sake. Look, the Jays had 4 hits yesterday. Morales had 2 of them. Are you nuts?
With the whole sleeve thing, remember that we saw that?
That thing. Yeah, he's like showing off the guns. But
I mean, it's mainly just fat.
Look, I look at this team, and I look at this 4-game series against the Orioles.
What's your expectation? And don't say that you don't know. What would you be happy with? 2 wins, 2 losses, keep it up 500 for...
It depends what we're wanting. Are we wanting Tank Nation? If that's the case, heck, I want a 4-game sweep against us. But
it's Baltimore.
I know. They can pitch, so they can hit, but they can't pitch. But they have a guy going on the mound today who the Jays have never seen before.
What?
David Hess. I've never seen this guy before. The Jays have never seen him before.
It's not that bad.
That usually tells me that the Jays will get no hit or something along those lines. And Garcia, who has been so awful this year,
he started off the year
is going against a very good offense. So I don't know what to
Jones,
see.
Machado.
I don't even know who else. Is Chris Davis still injured?
Chu.
No, he's on Texas, isn't he still?
No. Isn't he on Baltimore?
Jonathan Scope. He's very, very good. Trey Mancini.
Oh, Trumbo Nation.
Mark Trumbo's back, I guess.
Oh, he was hurt?
Yeah, he was
hurt
for a little while. He's in 284. He's having a very good year. But for this team, I don't know. The Orioles have won 2 straight games. We've lost 2 straight games.
Want to switch over to the
Raptors? We're gonna get out of here. I mean, this
this point, just shake your head. All you can do is shake your head and be like, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
Yeah, we're going to get to basketball.
So basketball, the Raptors have announced 4 coaches. Do you want to bring up their names? I'm not too sure.
Okay, some of the names, I apologize. I will not be able to pronounce, and I'm not even going to try and say one of them.
I'll try to pronounce them.
No, you're not. Look, I know you too well that your pronunciations of names are not very, very
You're on
good.
roster.
I know. So, yeah, there's the Lithuanian coach. I'm just trying to find here.
So Nurse, he's expected to be the favorite.
Yeah, Nick Nurse is the favorite, and
you're not a fan of that, and I'm not a fan of that either. Because, like you say, it's coming from a Dwayne Casey perspective. So, and worse because there's no.
It might be different. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Any of the Lithuanian coach, Sarnas. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name. Don't even try. He's obviously the 4th candidate. We heard a couple players, a couple guys. One from who was it? We were talking about it in the last podcast from one of the assistant coaches for the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh,
was
right.
an option.
Mike Budenholzer.
No, he's gone.
He was with the Spurs, wasn't he?
No. Mike,
he was with.
Well,
Pop.
yeah, but he's with the Bucks now.
Yeah.
But the assistant coach right now for the San Antonio Spurs is another option.
The assistant coach?
Honestly, at this point, I think Nick Nurse is going to get the job. Because we thought maybe it would be Stackhouse, but he wasn't even listed in the 4 names.
I'm surprised.
So where's he going to go?
Are you surprised about Stackhouse? Because
I kind of thought I was.
He could potentially get a job as an NBA coach.
I thought with him being the 905 coach,
winning a championship, making it to the finals,
I thought
he's definitely going to get a job.
I thought he was going to be the next Raptors coach. That's clearly not going to happen, but I thought it was going to happen.
And with these struggling franchises, the Magic, they just fired Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, he was on the Pistons.
He was on the Pistons.
They fire him, and now they're interviewing Coach Casey.
Oh,
the Pistons. So
how far are they going to get him? But I think with Coach Casey, I think it's just a change of scenery because he is a good coach.
Yeah, he took this team as far as he could.
I think in almost 60 wins, that's far enough.
Yeah,
but not in the playoffs.
We also heard, I think it was yesterday, I think I saw it, that no Raptor is untouchable.
Huh.
None of them.
Even DeRozan.
Nothing.
Well, the trade talks have slowed.
Yes.
I haven't heard much of the whole...
I think it would heat up after the draft.
No, the draft. During the draft.
They want to pick.
Because JV was this close to being traded
last year.
The draft.
I remember we were doing the live stream and we were like, "Is he going to be moved?"
Are we doing the live stream for the draft?
Well, the Raptors don't have a pick, so I mean, I don't see why we would do that.
Yeah.
But
now what this team needs is a draft pick, and we've been talking about this throughout. Yes, getting a stud player for Lowry, DeRozan would be nice. We need a draft pick, man. Even a second rounder. If we can somehow snag Lonzo or other brother, what's his name?
Melo or LiAngelo? Which one?
LiAngelo.
Okay.
In the second round?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be something. I mean, I don't know what... honestly, my expectations for the Raptors right now are no clue. Because...
they just said that anyone's untouchable. And I'm glad that Masai's doing that, to be completely honest with you. Talk's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk is cheap. He says, but who knows if he's going to actually do something. If he goes in, and me and you have been preaching this, if Masai Ujiri goes in the next season with the same team, that's a terrible move as a GM, and he should be fired.
Yeah, I agree.
You cannot go into the league with the same roster as you just got swept, and you barely got past the Wizards.
You got swept in back-to-back years.
You barely got past the Wizards. Yes, it was in 6 games. It should have been a 5 or even a sweep.
Yeah.
With the team we had in the Wizards, 2-8 going into the playoffs, come on.
And we won the first 2 games at home.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I don't know. This team has some needs. Will Masai...
Power forward,
and a guy who can actually shoot the darn ball. Miles, you know what? He was so inconsistent. Sounds like the Blue Jays. He was so inconsistent. You need a guy that's going to be able to spot up those threes left and right. Well, I don't know. Will it happen? Will he get what he wants? I don't know. Will he? Yeah. I saw down here that the Raptors are going to be dangling a trade chip, as in DeLon Wright. That was an option. So I don't know if that'll happen.
I wouldn't say that's a major move. That's more of a minor move, in my opinion. To be honest with you, it's no blockbuster. It is a prospect we drafted in 2015, I think.
Yeah, he's like 25.
He's panned out. He's panned out so far. Oh, he's 25.
Yeah, we drafted him at 22 or 23.
Oh, well, he's panned out.
He's very good. He's a very good bench player.
And if he was starting, he would get more points.
Probably.
Opinion. But we could see him maybe traded for maybe 2 seconds.
No, I'd probably want more. Honestly, I don't know what to expect.
First,
making mock trades about this team is so.
Well, right now, we can't really go through the draft and what players the Raptors should draft because we don't have a darn pick.
No.
Right, and that's really depressing. So
that's what happens when you trade Serge Ibaka.
And you try to win now. Well,
and you trade Damari Carroll and a first to get rid of him.
Hold on. So the first that was this year was
I think we had 2, wasn't it?
Did we? I thought it was the.
You know what it was?
It was last year.
Ibaka's trade last year was for a first.
Last year.
Yeah, and then we had 2. We had the Clippers pick as well as ours,
which was a late first.
Right.
And then this one was the Carroll pick, which.
Right.
I mean, it would still be late, but
but it's still a draft pick.
It's still a early second, technically late first. So
yeah, I don't know. This team is all over the place.
All we can do is speculate. Now, as a fan, who would you like to see go? And I know it depends on the package, but for right now, who would you want to see go and get the best value for? Because if you do trade DeRozan, you can get multiple parts back,
right?
But you're losing DeMar DeRozan,
and that right there,
and that's your franchise player.
That would tell me right there that the Raptors are not going to be contending next year.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
If they get that bold and make a move like that, that tells me right there what's going to happen next season.
So that being said, what would you do?
We've also heard about Andrew Wiggins. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen or not.
They slowed down. The trade talks slowed.
Right.
Well, the rumors, not really the talks, because they're just rumors, but they slowed down a little bit. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it was proposed. I don't think it was really looked upon that much.
No, but would you be okay? Would you want to make that trade with DeRozan?
1 for 1?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I would want to do Lowry and DeLon Wright for Wiggins.
Well, then you have 2 small forwards. So you'd have to move DeRozan at that point.
Didn't you? Oh, yeah, that's true.
So that's I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna leave that up to Masai because me
and you don't really like doing mock trades because they don't happen.
Because then you think about, do we want DeRozan gone? Well, no. What do you want back? Are they realistic on the other side? I don't know. It's just.
And plus, if you were to trade a DeRozan, you would want multiple pieces back because the Raptors need multiple pieces.
They need probably a prospect or 2 and a draft pick.
Yes, definitely a draft pick. A first rounder and a blue chip prospect from the T-Wolves would be nice. I don't know what that is. I wouldn't consider Wiggins to be a prospect as a star player.
Right.
But he had a down year in Minnesota. I could see Kyle Lowry going to Minnesota rather than DeRozan. But
yeah, because they need a point guard.
So maybe bring back Jeff Teague. I don't know. I don't know at this point. Lowry for Jeff Teague in a second?
That's... I don't know about Jeff Teague coming over here.
Or a first?
I don't know. I see.
I know.
We throw these out there, and we're all like, I don't know, really. I don't know. But for this team, the first step is getting a new head coach. Yep. That is the first step.
Can't look that far.
Who will that be? Well, they wouldn't go and talk to the Lithuanian head coach
without knowing,
without having a good, having a.
Is this in the same league as Lanjo Ball? Or no?
I think so. Or maybe he's the Lithuanian...
I know it's not the coach for those 2 boys, but I think they're in the same league.
Or is it the Lithuanian national head coach?
Well, you have your phone right there.
Well, I don't know if it's the
because it said Lithuanian league, did it not?
Interviewed Lithuanian coach, so I don't really...
National coach? If it's the national coach, then I'd be more of ecstatic to get him.
Right, so the other 2 guys were the Spurs assistants, Messina and Udoka.
So Messina was the guy we talked about last podcast.
And Udoka was the other guy. So those are the 4. Those are the 2 guys from the Spurs. You have
Nurse and then this guy,
the Lithuanian coach.
Right.
So
who would you want?
I don't know. I want a new face. So adding Nick Nurse, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Me neither. But I mean, yeah, I'm honestly kind of speechless because there's not a whole lot to talk about.
Really, just this about the coaches, and that's about it.
Right. And mock trades are fun to talk about. They don't usually happen, so that's why we don't like talking about mock trades.
Yeah.
Right. So all we can do is wait for the draft because the draft's what, late June?
I think it's something along those lines. Yeah.
I can't see Masai Ujiri not making some sort of move during the draft. The Raptors cannot be silent on draft day. There's no way. In your opinion.
If they are, then there's something wrong. You know
with Masai Ujiri, but I think he's an outspoken GM, and I think that he will make a move prior or at the draft, in my opinion.
I'm just trying to find some mock trades to talk about if there is any here. There's also some DeRozan things. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out some possible destinations for DeMar DeRozan. Just to try and, I don't know. There's the Dallas Mavericks. The Raptors would receive Mavericks' first-round pick and Wesley Matthews. So that's that. Their first-round pick is pretty good because
it's like 10th or 9th.
Actually, Dallas Mavericks, isn't that like top 5?
I don't think it's top 5. I think it's 5 to 10. I don't think it's top 5.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and look.
I know Sacramento and Phoenix got the first 2 picks.
Dallas is third last in the West.
Well, I think they lost the draft lottery though.
Oh, they did? Okay.
I think so.
So they came fourth.
Well, anyways, it's going to be top 10 pick. So
right. And Wesley Matthews, is that an option? I don't know.
And this is for DeRozan?
That is for DeMar DeRozan.
Again, Wesley Matthews, 29, 30 years old. He's a good 14, 15 point guy, but I mean, I don't know.
It's tough, right? I mean, I understand that.
I would like someone younger than Wesley Matthews, but you never know.
So we got another one here. Where is it? The Minnesota Timberwolves. And just trying to find the actual trade. Doesn't really have... if there's a possibility for DeRozan to be moved, many wonder if a deal could be Andrew Wiggins. So we already talked about that. I'm going to go here. This is the Dallas Mavericks. So here's the Los Angeles Lakers. Was one here because obviously him and his connection there. I'm just trying to see here. Coming from the Raptors, Luol Deng and Brandon Ingram. Luol Deng, I'm not so sure about, but Brandon Ingram.
I remember when Luol Deng was okay, no, dude. I don't think it's Luol.
Luol Deng is Luol Deng to me.
Funny story about this. Okay, so I remember when me and James, oh man, this was probably 4 or 5 years ago when we were still in high school. We played NBA 2K13, and then I think we traded for this guy Dang on the Bulls, and when James like, wait, what?
Luol Deng? Yeah,
sounds like a farmer.
Luol Deng. Yeah, it really does. So this is the last trade we got here before we wrap up the Raptors.
Okay.
And this is a big one. We might have mentioned this in another podcast. Whether we did or not, we'll mention it again.
Okay.
DeRozan, OG, and Pascal Siakam to the San Antonio Spurs for Kawhi Leonard and Rudy Gay.
Wait, so hold on. So OG, who else? Sorry.
OG, DeRozan, and Siakam for Kawhi and Rudy Gay.
You're mortgaging your future, and why would you want to do that?
That's what's on here. But I do agree with you. I don't see that happening. So... what do you think about that?
Don't mortgage your future. I would say trade older players and players that are in their mid-20s and don't look to be anything special for draft picks and prospects. If you're trading away OG, who looks promising as all heck, right, and Siakam for, Leonard, who is a very, very good defensive guy and offensively, very good two-way kind of forward, and a Rudy Gay who didn't look good. He's like a Lou Williams. He was like a Lou Williams. Shot up a bunch of threes and shots, if you will. Made half of them. Put up solid numbers, 15, 20 points, but took way too many shots. Do you really want to mortgage your future? 3 promising prospects and DeRozan for Leonard, who is better than DeRozan. I get that, but for Rudy Gay as well? No.
It's for one guy, basically.
Yeah.
Really.
Now, there's a guy I'm looking at in free agency
Tyreek
Evans, yes. Yeah. He won't be coming off the bench if we were to make a move.
Right.
So, and that can still make our team a contender if we were to trade any of our star players and inserting Evans into the lineup. That would still make us a contender.
Right.
Because Tyreek Evans is a very, very solid player.
And he's a shooting guard, correct?
Yes, he is.
That's what DeRozan is.
If you can get the right pieces back in draft picks and promising prospects that don't necessarily need starting minutes, trade it, drop the trade at the draft, in my opinion.
Will it happen? Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
So we're going to move to the Leafs now, and really, I mean, there is nothing going on
Well,
with the Bucks.
don't say that.
Wait, actually, no, before we talk about the hockey.
Oh,
Cleveland, and Golden State.
In Golden State, exactly.
NBA Finals, I mean, yeah, we forgot about it. Why? Because it's 3-0.
Now I thought...
It's a complete joke.
Now
you said Cleveland in 7, didn't you?
And you said Golden State in 6. Well, so far, it's Golden State in 3. They need one more win to win the NBA championship, the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and this is surprising. Not too much about the first 2 games. Now, I want to know...
We haven't talked about J.R. Smith.
No, I was just going to mention that. I want to know if you're watching that.
Oh, yeah.
Blunder.
Oh, yeah.
Great move. I think it was George Hill who I think he purposely missed the 3.
Well, whether he did or not, J.R. Smith is an absolute bozo.
We'll break it down. Mm-hmm. So, he gets the first one in. That ties the game.
Right.
He purposely misses the second one.
Purposely or
no. I'm talking about it. Okay. I think he would purposely miss it because if he made it, yeah, they're up by 1, but Golden State has 4 seconds left with possession. You know they're going to score on that possession.
But you also have that risk of missing it, and like J.R. Smith did, you don't expect it to happen, but if you don't make that next shot,
it's going to OT.
It's going to OT in the Oracle. You don't want that,
no.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. But so J.R. Smith, great move by George Hill to purposely miss it, because I think he purposely missed it. It goes right to J.R. Smith, dribbles it to half court.
And it kind of just dribbles it out. And LeBron's like, what are you doing? Like, buddy, shoot the darn ball. Or pass, get it out, get it to the net.
There was wide open players. Tristan Thompson was wide open.
And then he realized with like half a second left, and he tries to rifle it to George Hill.
And then
he gets blocked. And then it gets blocked.
And then it's OT, and we all know what happens there. KD, Steph Curry, all the boys there.
The thing that frustrates me the most is that J.R. Smith, after the game, says he knew what the score was.
But he didn't know what the time was. He said that he thought he had more time on the clock to dribble it out, see his options, pass it to LeBron, and LeBron drives to the net.
In one of the biggest games of the year, you got to know the situation.
But do you expect anything less from J.R. Smith? No. J.R. Smith during the season has done that. He kind of reminds me of a Jake Gardner type player. When he's on, he's on.
Yep.
But when he's not on, and he's looked up as a 6th man. I don't know why they're starting him in the starting lineup at this point.
No, he really... I mean, yesterday against Golden State, he was all right, but he shot 5 of 14. 5 points in Game 2, 10 in Game 1. But, I mean, in Game 1, he was 3 of 10. He hasn't shot a good percentage at all in the finals yet. And for this Cleveland team to be good, you need him to shoot well. You need Kevin Love to shoot well. And really, yes, Kevin Love had 20 in this game, but he was 3 of 7 from 3, which isn't bad. 3 of 8 in Game 2, and 1 of 8 in Game 1. That's not good enough.
It's ridiculous. And the fact is that Tyronn Lue is still playing him not off the bench. They're still putting him in the starting lineup. Is just unbelievable to me. He's chucking up these threes. He's always missing them. He hasn't got hot all this season, so why not put in I don't know who he can put in, Rodney Hood?
No, I think they did in this game a little bit more, but I don't think he did it a whole lot. But really, I mean...
Now, just looking at Golden State Warriors, who can beat them?
Look, and I know people, when people say, oh, a super team, and like when I say a super team, people get rattled. People get rattled and say, oh, they're not, technically only Durant is the only one that's got brought in this team. Yeah, but Buddy is one of the best shooters of all time, you could arguably say. Who would be questioning
you that they're not a super team? That's what I'm wondering.
Because Curry,
Klay Thompson is a multiple all-star.
But they were drafted, right?
That's still a super team.
Yeah, but they were drafted. They weren't signed in free agent.
It doesn't matter if they were signed or drafted.
How did Miami get so good? That's a super team. You signed Bosh, you signed James, right away, bang, you got 3 All-Stars.
No, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's a super team if you...
The super team, for me, is complete with Kevin Durant. You add a guy, one of the premier scorers in the game.
If you draft well, if you draft multiple All-Stars and they pan out, you're a super team. That's not no diss to you. A super team is a good thing.
I mean, to a certain...
Yes, it is a good thing, other than non-Golden State Warriors fans, because they're just all salty. The thing is about Golden State Warriors is that...
If they did not have Kevin Durant, I don't know where they'd be. That guy dropped 43 last night.
They would still be in the finals, and they would
I'm not saying they wouldn't be in the finals.
And they would still beat LeBron. Even, in my opinion, even without...
They did not want that 1 year with Kyrie, and the next year they go out and sign Durant.
No, but they did it the first time.
without him, yes, and then they lost the second time, and then they're like, okay, we don't want to lose anymore. Let's just go sign Kevin Durant.
But I think you can agree with me on this, is that if they didn't even have KD, if he was still on OKC or wherever, the Lakers...
With this team right now, with this Cleveland team right now, yes, I agree, they could still beat them.
Any team in the East.
Probably.
So, that's a super team. They draft well. They found Draymond Green in the second round. They found Klay Thompson at 11th. Steph Curry at 9th. That is a super team. Their GM, I don't even know who their GM is, but props to him. He made a super team. One guy in free agency, I get it. Yes, he's
one of the premier scorers. Look, if Kevin Durant came to Toronto, we'd get past the hump.
But without Durant on the Golden State Warriors, they're still looked at as a super team.
Right.
Multiple All-Stars.
But that team would look more human. You could possibly get through that at that point.
I'm agreed. But now it's like, with KD inserted there...
That's what I'm saying, right?
Arguably
no team
better
has a
than
chance
Steph.
now. No team has a chance now.
Because if Steph is off like he was in Game 3, he was shooting bricks. You have KD.
Durant's got 43.
Who can stop him?
LeBron James, what if he has an off night? He's got nothing.
Now, for obviously, if you want to compare player to player, the King is obviously better than anybody on Golden State Warriors.
Right.
But
the other guys,
who's an all-star other than, I mean, Kevin Love really is nothing like he was even 2 years ago when he was brought to the Cavs.
Right.
Or 3 years ago, rather.
Right.
But player to player, yes, he is the best, the King. But as a team, who can beat 4, 5 multiple all-stars on one team?
You can't.
Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry.
Now, with those three guys, I'm not saying it's easy and it's doable, but I'm saying that
it's more.
Teams
it's more
have
realistic.
the chance to do
Cleveland did it,
right? And then you go and you get one of the best scorers in the game,
and at
that point, everyone's like, "Well, that's about it." And we were all right because they're going to win back-to-back championships.
And honestly, that is a cowardly move. I don't think we've ever talked about this.
That's why I don't like what's going on.
No.
Because do they need Kevin Durant? No. But they're like, now we're just going to win championship after championship.
You could see the same about John Tavares going to the Leafs. Do we need him? No. But do we want him? Sure.
Big difference. What we win the cup with John Tavares? We still need a darn defense core.
But we would look very good.
Offensively.
I think we'd get over the hump.
Offensively, yes. Defensively, still a big issue with John Tavares.
It is.
With them... Heck, they can shoot their way out of it.
Yeah. No, it's looked... Because if one player is off... Like, let's just say that, James is off. LeBron James is off a game.
That's over. That's it.
If Steph Curry is off, you have Kevin Durant. If Klay Thompson's off and Draymond Green's off, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry.
Exactly.
If KD is off for some reason, you have Draymond Green grabbing those offensive boards. Yep. And him and Tristan Thompson, man, that's an ongoing beef, and I love that. That's old school. That's old school because they were trash talking during the game. It was awesome.
In Game 1, they were really into
Game
it.
Game 3.
Well, I'm saying Game 1 it all started.
Yeah.
With Tristan Thompson getting the boot out of the game, and then Draymond really getting up in his face.
I mean, Tristan Thompson is from Canada, so I'm going to go with his side.
Do you think Cleveland's going to win one?
Yeah, I think so.
You think they're winning the next one?
Oh, it would be impossible for them not to at least win one. At home?
I'd like to say so as well, but I don't know, man.
Well...
LeBron had a triple-double last night.
I already said, well, that's expected, and me and you both said this, that he's going to show up. Is his team going to show up?
They haven't.
And I don't think they would have even before the series even started.
Yep.
You said Golden State in 6. I said Cleveland in 7. I know we're sticking with our predictions, but if right now, I'm going to say that Cleveland's going to push them because, man, they're too good of a team.
They'll go back to Oracle and they'll win an Oracle.
Didn't that happen last year? Or no, wait, was it 6 or 5 they won, Golden State? I think it was 5.
That's with Kyrie Irving, too.
I'm gonna say Golden State in 6. I'm sticking with my original prediction. I'm not changing it, but for right now, I'm gonna say Cleveland has too much fight, and they're gonna win at least one on the road and one at home.
You think you're going to win one on the road and one? You think it's gonna be 6?
6. I think so. 6.
I think it's gonna be 5.
Shocking. No one wanted to see this again. 3.
4 years in a row.
No. But 3 wins in the last 4 years.
Yeah. And look, it would make a mockery of this league.
It's already done.
If they sweep them.
Yeah.
You have an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And you sweep them?
The Eastern and Western Conference Finals were more entertaining than the actual finals.
Right.
They both went to 7.
Just because there's some fireworks in Game 1 and,
I would have
and Draymond and Thompson, everyone's like, oh, so you don't want to see this again? No, I don't want to see another 4. I don't want to see a 4-game sweep.
That's one thing, yes, that's very entertaining, but enough is enough. I would have loved to see Houston and Boston go at it.
That would have been great.
I'm 100% Boston, but you know what I mean? It's just the same regurgitated thing every year. It's like they make these super teams.
Because if Durant goes back to, let's say everything stays the same, and well, I don't know with the up and coming Boston, the up and coming Philly. I don't know. Maybe next year it's a little bit different, but
well, they actually said that Paul George is willing to team up with LeBron. LA Lakers.
Oh God, then another super team over there, right?
It all changed when Kevin Durant did the most ridiculous thing. Because before that, Golden State drafted well and they developed well.
They were still a really good team without him.
They weren't cheating.
But if you can't beat them, might as well go play for them.
Russ Westbrook, man, I feel so bad for him. But that's kind of off the topic here.
We're gonna go to hockey.
We're going to go to the Leafs here.
Now, there's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to the Leafs. We'll get to the Cup Finals in a little bit, though.
But Lou Lamoriello is announced the new GM of the New York Islanders. You expected it.
I love what Lou does because he goes in there.
He
goes in there not as the GM to start, but he's like, "Hey, GM Garth Snow, you're gone. Doug, wait, coach, you're gone.
He was the
president. GM.
No, well, it's funny because when he was brought into the Islanders, I'm not sure what his position was. Was it president of hockey operations?
It might have been.
I think it was Brendan Shanahan's position right now.
Right.
And Shanahan is the guy who can fire people, whatever. So, but Lou Lamoriello's like, you're gone. Well,
I love it.
It's been since 2006 for
the Islanders. You know what? As much as like they're a greasy team and they're not a team you talk about a lot. Good for Lou Lamoriello going in there and saying, all right, enough is enough with this garbage. Clean house.
Well, that's what they did for us.
Exactly.
Now, a little bit surprised about the coach, Doug Weight. He was a good coach.
Right.
I would suspect, now, there was 2 possible options for the New York Islanders. Sheldon Keefe is one.
Yeah, from the Marlies coach.
And Alain Vigneault is another one. I would think Alain Vigneault would be the guy, but
you never know.
We're not sure.
You never know.
They can do anything. The New York Islanders are a team where...
Now, with Lou Lamoriello now being the GM...
Yes.
Does this change the John Tavares sweepstakes? Do you
think
think Lou Lamoriello is going to try and sign him?
I've said it from day one, and...
I don't think he'll sign him, but do you think this changes anything?
I think he will sign him, because, like I said before, they already had contract talks. I think he's going to stay on Long Island. How about you? Lou Lamoriello is a very smart man.
Right, but just because he's a smart man, John Tavares also wants to win.
Yeah, I know. And
will he be able to win?
They're a goaltender away, man. They're for at least making the wild card.
Right, but they don't have anything. They don't have a goalie.
I know. What I'm saying, a goaltender away.
Right, but that's a big issue.
They have 2 first-rounders. They can part way at least with one. They can part ways with a 12th overall pick for Pekka Rinne. I don't think that would be a bad option for either team.
For 1 year.
They can do
I don't. He's 35 already this year.
Well, he is declining. I understand that, but right now, do the New York Islanders really have that much of an option? Well, I don't think so.
If I was Nashville, I'd jump all over that.
Garrett Sparks could be an option for them. They were interested in Grubauer, Philip Grubauer.
Yep, saw that too.
Yep, them the Hurricanes. So that would be a good option. Because the Islanders haven't experimented with bringing in a very good backup goalie for a starting goalie like some teams have.
Right. Because
Ransah, Talbot, guys like this.
Right now they're working with Yaroslav Halak and Thomas Greiss.
It's done. It's over.
That whole Greiss thing they did that 1 year against Florida, that was it. That was the only year that he was anything good.
Right. I don't think their team's in shambles. They have a lot of free agents, though, especially on the back end.
Right.
Hickey, DeHaan.
Thomas Hickey's the guy I think the Leafs should maybe look at. Very good defensive guy.
Now, will it be suspect for me to say that if the New York Islanders don't sign JT, they wouldn't be still okay? They have a lot of good young Kiefer Bellows.
Yeah, he's a very good-looking player.
Yes, they have Matthew Barzal. They still have Josh Bailey.
But you're losing John Tavares.
No, I know. But obviously they would be in a playoff spot with John Tavares and getting a goaltender better than Halak, which isn't that hard to do.
Right.
But without him, they still got a lot of good young pieces, man. So I don't think it's the end of the world if they don't re-sign him.
Well, I mean, hey, only time will
It is
tell
John
for the
Tavares.
Islanders.
No,
But I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, July 1st is coming around really fast.
yeah, no,
Less than a month away. We haven't heard anything.
Where do you think he's going to go? If you to pick a team, because I think he's going to stay on Long Island with Lou Lamoriello holding the ground there.
The team that needs him is the Montreal Canadiens. Will it happen? I hope not.
No, I think I would rather them trade for O'Reilly, give them third overall pick for Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be funny?
and then pay for his like $1 million, like tons and tons of money.
He's making almost $8 million.
Yeah, put him with Shea Weber and Carey Price in that money
Why not?
category. Yeah, why not? They love doing it.
I mean, re-sign him for 12 years.
But he's not French Canadian.
Well, they can kind of convert him and just be like, "You're from Quebec."
Oh, Marc Bergevin, you are something else, my man. You are
Now,
something else.
it's funny. I kind of wanted to talk about the draft a little bit. 1 and 2 are pretty much set.
Right.
Rasmus Dahlin going first overall. Andrei Svechnikov going to.
Or would you go with Philip Zadina?
No.
I think Montreal will take
No.
Zadina.
I wanted to get into this with you. I have a feeling that they're going to go with Brady Tkachuk.
The American.
The American, and because he's one of those. Now, we all know Marc Bergevin loves doing questionable things and getting gritty players, like you saw in the past with Dwight King, Steve Ott. Remember all of them?
Oh, yeah.
I could see them
Drafting Michael McCarron.
Michael McCarron, yeah, exactly. So I could see. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad pick. It would be a little bit of a reach, but I could see them drafting Brady Tkachuk and then Ottawa.
You cannot if they pass up on Philip Zadina.
I mean, it's not the end of the world.
He's a very good shot. He's a sniper.
Yeah,
and
he's a goal scorer.
They've had
yeah.
issues with scoring.
It's another winger though. I mean, Brady Tkachuk is a winger as well, but he's way more tough and he brings that grit. And Montreal loves the grit. So if I were Ottawa, though, I would love for them to draft Zadina or for him to slip. Right? It's a question, right? But just recently, the Detroit Red Wings have said that they're willing to trade the 6th and the 7th.
Why?
Or no, the 6th, and I think it was Vancouver with the 7th. Yeah, I don't know. Now, this is a trade for you. I thought about this. I didn't see this anywhere.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Now, Jake Gardner
Oh, boy.
for the 6th overall pick straight up.
Wow.
See, to be completely honest with you, I would want a little bit more out of that because Jake Gardner is a 50-plus defense.
Yeah. 6th overall pick is nice.
I wouldn't be mad if that happened, though.
I'd be intrigued.
That's Adam Goldquist.
The Swedish
Right-handed
defenseman.
defenseman.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I don't know.
Would you? I mean, it's close.
It's very interesting.
When you're left on Jake Gardner's deal, he's gonna want to raise from 4.2.
Yeah, I'd probably do it.
Would you? Yeah. Even for the 7th, because Vancouver's looking to give it up too. Even for the 7th, even Chicago. Those 3 teams, I would think, want to give it up.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a crazy draft day.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a crazy draft day.
especially with Dubas behind the reins, man.
I'm excited for that, man.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for Kyle
too.
Dubas to get this going. I really, really am.
No, I am too, 100%.
So let's get away from the Islanders. Let's get away from the draft.
Well,
What's up?
no, okay. I was going to talk about Ryan Merkley and how they should draft him. But
That would be an interesting pick. I'd really enjoy that.
apparently, he's dropped out of the first round because of attitude issues, and he's not good defensively at all. Kind of reminds me of
that might be an issue then.
Well, if you can work with him, you can work with him. Mike Babcock can work with him, right?
Well,
Draft's coming up, man.
it's very soon. It's the end of the month.
And we actually have a pick, not like the Raptors.
Oh my god, yeah. But now we're gonna go to the Marlies, and they are ahead 2-1 of the series against the Texas Stars.
Buddy, all I gotta say is that you better not go to any.
Nope, because I was at the one game where they lost, and they had won 9 or 10 straight playoff games going into that game. They lose. I don't go to the one on the road, of course, and they win that one. So I'm not
I sure hope
going
they're not going
anymore.
to travel to Texas for an AHL game.
That'd be pretty weird, eh?
But anyways,
They have the 2-1 series lead against the Stars.
at this point, I don't care who scores. I don't care who scores for the
no,
Marlies.
No, I don't care anymore.
I think it was Mueller and Callie Rosen scored. I don't care.
When I was watching that game, and I'm obviously at the game, so I want to look into it. Trevor Moore looks really good.
Yeah, he does.
He's really fast.
Yeah.
He's slippery. Timashov, very slimy on the boards. They can't pin him enough.
Yeah.
He's always slipping out of it. He's a really good player too.
There's a few guys. Obviously, we all know about Janssen and how he's going to make the
I
Leafs.
didn't mention him because it's like we know what he's.
Trevor Moore, I'm telling you, man, he's a Kyle Dubas signing right out of college.
Yep.
And he can, with a spot on the 4th line, I'd imagine. I mean, I don't know. He had an amazing playoffs. He had a pretty good year with the Marlies. He was, I think, 66 or 60 games or so, 30 or 40 points around there. But yeah, I mean, in person he's good though, eh?
Oh, really good. Fast.
Wow.
Great hands. I don't know. I was really impressed with him. And the one thing that made me laugh in that playoff game was watching Martin Marincin.
Oh, God.
And that guy was pinching left and right.
And if you're Martin Marincin,
You don't do that.
because you're slower than Roman Polak, and that's saying something.
Yeah, so that was quite funny. But they have a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 goes tonight down there in Texas. The great news for the Marlies, even if they lose the next 2, they come back home. They at least have that.
They're losing that. You mean?
Because it's a three down there.
Oh,
Two at home, 3 on the road, 2 at home.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works down there in the AHL. So
I kind of wanted to win the Calder Cup at home. It just seems right.
well, they got to lose 1 on the road then.
Oh.
Which the next 2 games you got to lose.
They're a
1.
good team, though.
They're a very good team. The Texas Stars are a very good team. They bottle you up in the neutral zone.
But see, I don't think that there's any really prospects on.
I didn't really see many. It's a Jason Dickinson, former Guelph Storm guy.
about
Dylan
it.
Hetherington. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
They really don't have
They're
a lot.
mainly the Marlies of 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. Mike Zigomanis, Jerry D'Amigo, those kind of guys.
Kevin Yo or Steve Yo.
Dylan Yo?
Oh, yeah, Dylan
Yeah, I
Yo.
don't even know what happened to him.
The beard.
What was his name?
Kevin Marshall.
Oh, Kevin Marshall. Wow, that's the
name.
name of the past.
That's the name.
But great. That's great for the Marlies. Timothy Liljegren, I saw him out there. He was all right. I mean, didn't see him a whole lot, but again, he's 18.
Yeah.
He's 18.
He's 18, and he's still getting used to the North American ice.
Exactly.
So
now we're going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
And
this is the way sports should be.
now, when the Leafs sucked,
Oh, boy. Yeah.
and this was for a long time, you were a Capitals fan.
I was, because as a Leaf fan, and a lot of people know this, you got to have a second team. Yours was Florida when the Leafs weren't great, obviously,
Right.
and all that stuff. But everybody has that other team.
And yours was Washington, and look at them now.
Ovechkin.
All
finally,
those years.
Finally.
Well, it's going to be very hard for them to screw this up. But I'm sorry, though.
They have not been very good in 3-1
Now,
leads.
this is Now, this is a question to you, a former, or if not still, Washington Capitals fan. Who deserves, if they win, who deserves the Conn Smythe Trophy?
It's tough to say. Kuznetsov is on some ridiculous pace, and he probably should win it.
Now, there was a thing on Craig Button actually said that Michael Kempany would be a dark horse to win.
All
it.
right, he's got a couple goals. Good for him.
No,
But I think Alex Ovechkin might get it.
I don't think he should get it, but
Right,
he
I
will
know,
get it.
that's what I'm
But
saying.
Kuznetsov is playing week to week, Stanley
playing some
Cup
of the-
Finals injured, month to month, injured,
And-
regular season injured.
Game 4 or 5 tonight. Yeah, the bird celebration.
bird's
for
coming
Kuznetsov.
out.
As a Leaf fan, I hated that.
Well, he does that because of his. I think he had a sibling that passed away, and I think that's the reason why he does it.
Well, then respect it then.
But I still do.
But it's still, really.
tweet.
Yeah, okay. Tweety bird, tweet. But
Tweet.
all right,
Tweet.
simmer down there, bud. But I think Kuznetsov should win it.
Because he's
If
playing
they
injured.
win, and a lot of people were saying Marc-Andre Fleury, even if they lose, but he really hasn't looked the
No.
greatest. He hasn't got a lot
Before
of
the
help,
series
but-
started, he should have won the Conn Smythe. But with this series and how he's looked human, no. And the team isn't helping him either.
it's not over yet,
Carlson
obviously. They're
has
back.
looked not good. Marshall, right?
Their defense has looked rough. Theodore's been rough. Braden McNabb's looked rough.
They're not getting the calls because I'm noticing about Vegas. They're really snapping their heads back when they get hit by, for example, I think it was Oshie
They're
hit
trying to
Colin
embellish
Miller.
it.
Yeah,
They're trying to
they
embellish
are.
it, and they're not getting the calls.
No. So, Conn Smythe, I think it should be Kuzi, but obviously Ovechkin's
honestly,
going to win it after all
If
that he's
Vegas
endured.
finds a way to come back and win,
I don't
this-
think they will.
I know, but wouldn't that make a mockery of the league? A team comes in.
It's already made a mockery of the. I mean, I wouldn't say mockery of the league because how would they?
All these teams are built to win and all that
no.
kind of. You need to get a team here that's thrown together and they win the cup.
But how would it be a mockery if it just works?
Because it never works.
But
why this year?
But isn't it something special? Because it is something special. And I think before the season started, nobody hated Vegas. Now a lot of people hate Vegas.
I don't know about hate them. It's kind of like, well,
Hate them.
Winnipeg
hate them.
Jets fans, of course. Why?
Jets fans, Sharks fans, and LA fans, they all hate them. As a Leafs fan, I don't know.
We don't see them enough.
We don't
play them enough.
No.
To know.
We don't see them enough, but it's going to be extremely hard for them to come back if they end up doing. But next game, Game 5, it's on the road.
Tonight.
Tonight
In Vegas.
It's weird how they have 2 days, off, and then because usually it's 1 day off, and then they play the next game. But it's 2 days because
It's
after
travel,
tonight,
though, that's why probably. wasn't it?
Well, no, it's not trouble. I think it's just rest. Yeah, because next game they don't play on Saturday, which is weird. They play on Sunday, and then they play on Wednesday.
Weird. Very weird. But, oh man, I would say I'm still I'm an Ovechkin fan.
It's funny because when Michael Kemp, when he scored that great goal, I don't know who's commentating it, but then they're like, oh, Ovechkin. Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't Ovechkin. He thought it was Ovechkin because that looked like an Ovi shot. Slapper coming down the side. No,
Chicago, you miss him, bud?
No, you have to re-sign him, though, because he's a good defenseman.
He's a very good defenseman.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 1 win away. They're 1 win away from winning their first ever cup.
Yeah, Tom Wilson, man. He's looked good. See, I think he scored. It wasn't last game. I think it was game 2.
Well, honestly, he's looked very good too.
Yeah,
the whole team has, and I mean, they've just dominated Vegas.
Right.
They really have. And I really do believe that the Washington Capitals can do this, and tonight could be the end, or they could wait till 6 and win at home. But that gets very risky, because then if you lose that at home, then you go on the road for 7, and you don't want that.
No, you don't.
So I think if
you just want to finish it off in Vegas,
you want to do it right now.
It sucks not winning the Stanley Cup in your home building, but especially with Washington. But right now, it doesn't matter. Just win it.
Right? They don't care.
No,
Cap fans don't care.
No.
So
I don't blame them. If I was a Leaf fan, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care where we win it. We want to win it.
Right.
Now,
we'll get to the questions now.
Oh, it's up on your phone.
Yeah, I got it this time. So Brooke says Blue Jays. Well, I guess draft review. Well, we already did that. So
you're going to do a video?
I'm hoping to do a video either today, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly about that.
We got another statement saying, I don't even waste your time with this bleep Blue Jays team, poopy Blue Jays team.
Okay, there you go. Sam Gaviglio for starter for the rest of the year.
Now, I think his new nickname is Sam.
Sammy G.
It's just Sam.
Okay, well, you know what? As Michael here says, Sam for starter for the rest of the year. If he continues to pitch like this.
Michael has been on this show. We should get Michael on the show.
Yeah, why not, right? But, I mean, he says Sam for the starter for the rest of the year. If he continues to pitch like this, why not?
Right. And why then not? We got Kaz.
Kaz says, why do we suck? Well, I'm assuming that's to the Blue Jays, and they just suck, period, bud. Yeah. Pitching's off some days, bullpen stinks, offense stinks, everything stinks for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
That's just that, all right? So we thank you guys. That's it.
I mean, that's not really a big question segment,
no, because there wasn't any
something.
Because really, what other questions are there? For the Blue Jays, why do they suck?
They suck. The Raptors, who's going to be the next head coach. We don't know this. I mean, we do have our sources. Sources as in phone apps.
Yeah, hey, that's the way we do it.
And then for the Leafs, we can only just speculate about who we're going to draft, trade proposals, whatever. So thank you guys for listening.
We really do appreciate it,
yes,
guys.
we do appreciate this. Next Tuesday, we're
good? We should be next Tuesday afternoon, normal time. Hey, you know what?
This is a little bit later coming out, but that's because you were doing some running around.
Yeah.
Good daddy.
Yeah,
but, guys, follow up James's main channel. Follow my Twitter. Follow James's Twitter, Teal Sports Talk. That's going to be all in the
description below, guys. Also, the iTunes link to the podcast is
follow
down
us
there
on
below.
iTunes. It's free. If you guys want to listen to it in the car, at work, without eating up data with YouTube, go ahead.
That's always a
we're almost
really
up to 80 subscribers on the podcast.
Crazy, guys. Thank you guys so much for that. See if we can crack 100 soon. That'd be pretty crazy.
You were at 296 for a while, 2,960 subscribers on your actual channel. Can we get up to 3,000?
That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts.
You've been stuck there for a while.
Well, we got up to over 70 now.
5,000, you're expecting to do something? A little bit of a...
Yeah, at 5,000, if I
maybe a giveaway.
Hey, only time will tell.
Maybe a T.O. Sports Talk autographed hat.
Or a T-shirt. Or a T-shirt. You never know.
We got some merch coming for you guys. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll figure that stuff out. But we really do appreciate you guys' feedback every week about the podcast.
We love doing it.
15 weeks this has been. 15.
That's insane.
Gotta keep rolling, though.
All right?
Week 16 next week, Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday, regular time.
We thank you guys so much for all your support. And Evan and I will talk, or I'll talk to you guys later tonight. It's the Blue Jays. Well, you know what? They face the Orioles, and it
doesn't matter.
Morales is going to go 4 for 5.
In Trumbo Nation, maybe a grand slam. We don't know.
Who knows? And Evan and I will talk to you guys next Tuesday, week 16 of the podcast. We'll talk to you guys then.
Peace.